Guys, what's up? Darcy here at 6strings9lives, back for another edition / episode, whatever, of 10 of my favorites series. I think I'll continue on with this. I got a few other ideas besides this one now, but today we're going to take a look at 10 newer live metal albums. And on this list, I've actually left off some of the bigger names on purpose. I'm kind of targeting maybe some lesser well-known bands. For the most part, you'll know all these bands anyways. There might be one or two that you're not familiar with, or maybe you just haven't heard some of the live stuff. I would say overall, I am more of a studio album guy, to be honest with you. But I do enjoy a live album from time to time when it's done right. You know, the degree of, I'm not here to argue the degree of how live an album is. Most of these have overdubs on them. There's no doubt about it. But they still bring a certain energy that I enjoy. And a lot of these that I'll show you today actually have a companion DVD or CD with it, which I absolutely enjoy. Throwing it in the DVD player or Blu-ray player, grabbing a drink, just kicking back and just watching the shows and the extras. I really do enjoy that. So, like I said before, I'm going to do at least two parts to this. I'm going to do two parts to we're just looking at these newer, and I mean 2000 till today. And then I'll do probably a couple episodes where I take a look at some of my favorite older live albums. So, don't get too bent out of shape if you don't see some of the bigger names right off the bat. But I will show you some pretty cool ones that I enjoy. I know the title says favorite. Degree of how favorite depends on the band. But I will lead off today with this is my favorite thrash band. And this album was, it's actually a double album, but on the CD version with the DVD or Blu-ray, it's all in one package, but I do have them on vinyl too. But this is Overkill, live in Overhausen. This is basically a celebration album, recorded in 2016 to commemorate the, 30th anniversary or almost 31-year anniversary of Feel the Fire and 25th anniversary of Horoscope. So they played both albums in their entirety. I do have those on vinyl. They actually separated them for vinyl, and the only difference in the covers is the title. This is Volume 1, Horoscope, and the back cover is like this. And then for Feel the Fire, the title's just a little bit different, but the back cover's a little different on both, so that's pretty cool. It's Overkill. I'm gonna pick up pretty much anything Overkill. But getting back to this, just a superb show. They just killed it. I would say my favorite out of the two albums would be Feel the Fire. It's just so close to the original, high energy, great stuff. And another one of my favorite, actually, Overkill albums is Horoscope, and they crushed that one too. So if you've never seen this package, I don't like the sleeves that it comes in, but much rather have the trays. So this one comes with I think this one's a Blu-ray. This is a Blu-ray and 2 audio CDs, so one for each show. If you're into some thrash, some Overkill, this is one of 3 live albums that they've done and one of their best. I would strongly recommend you check this out. Released in 2018, recorded in 2016. A lot of these albums that I will show you today are all recorded, a couple of years ago or whenever they were released, or recorded and then out a couple of years after that type of thing. So next this was a release last year. This was recorded. None of these are recorded during COVID. Those would not be on my favorite list. I did pick up a couple albums that were recorded, without audiences and things like that. I think Gamma Ray, what else? A Destruction album. It's just, it's not good. I mean, the music's fine, but that whole live atmosphere thing, If you take that out of the equation, I'm sorry, some of this stuff just turns out to be shit. But not the case for this stuff. Coming up next, this is a album that came out in 1991 by Armored Saint that they did in their entirety here in 2018, or not here in 2018, but in 2018, released last year. But they did the whole Symbol of Salvation album live. I think New York City, this one was recorded. And there's no extras on here. It's just the full album in its entirety. And it is absolutely awesome. This one comes with a DVD, which I just enjoy the show. I don't even know if I've even listened to the audio of this yet, but I've put the DVD on at least 2 times already. It's just spot on to the original of one of my all-time favorite albums. The top 20 for sure for Armored Saint, Symbol of Salvation. But if you want a good rendition with some energy, John Bush just sounds awesome. Exact same lineup that put out Symbol of Salvation back in the day, and still putting out great music today. But definitely check this one out too. I went with the DVD CD combo on this one, opposed to the vinyl, just because I really wanted to watch that show. If you watch my channel in any extent of time, I've been a huge Accept, UDO, just Udo Dirkschneider. He's one of my idols, up there with Halford and Dio and the German Tank, Udo Dirkschneider. But back in, I think it was late 2015, they got this idea that they would like to go out on the road and do just a set of all Accept songs, but should they go out as UDO but they settled on the name Dirkschneider, went out on the road and put out this absolute masterpiece of a live album, live, Back to the Roots. So this set list is literally everything. There's not too much early stuff as far as the first 2 Accept albums, but anything from Breaker to Russian Roulette is on here. And just well done. I don't know. You just really have to listen to this. Udo, now 70 years old, 72. I think his birthday is just right around the corner, but still, this was a few years back, sounds phenomenal. Doing the classic songs like, Midnight Mover, Balls to the Wall, Fast as a Shark. What else? There's so much. Midnight Mover, London Leather Boys, just an awesome show. And this one, actually at the time, so this was released in 2016, and it came out, I'm like, why wouldn't you guys put a DVD with this? This is crazy. So a year later, of course, they get me, I'm going to buy this no matter what. So a year later, they do come out with Live Back to the Roots with this title on it, Accepted. And Accepted, all what that means is they put a DVD with it. So should have put it out in the first place, but I guess marketing strategy worked because I got both editions. But just a great show, great packaging as usual with AFM, or some of these like what do we got? SPV, Steam Hammer. And actually, when I was putting this list together, looking at all these, and they're all digipack type of deals. But if you've not checked out this and you are an Accept fan, you're gonna love this. And I can tell you right now, featured in probably one of my favorite older live Accept albums. I will be featuring some live Accept in my future videos, but this is right up there, to be honest with you. Check it out. Next up, and this one kind of ties in a little bit, because this was actually recorded on the Dirkschneider tour. This is the opening band. I love these guys. They're just fun. It's just a fun band. Raven. This is live in Elborg. Screaming Murder, Death from Above. So like I said, this was recorded actually in 2017 on the Dirkschneider tour, released here actually a couple years ago already, 2019. SPV, Steam Hammer. This one does not come with a live DVD. I wish it would have, because I just, I would just love to see Raven live, or just high energy, great stuff. So this would have been on their last album, not Metal City, but Extermination. The set list is classic stuff. You got Destroy All Monsters, which is on that Extermination album. One other track, Tank Threads, The Blood Runs Red. But then you got a lot of the classic Raven songs like All for One, On and On, Crash Bang Wallop, Break the Chain. Not overly long, only 11 tracks, but really worth checking out if you just want some high energy metal / a little bit of speed metal in there too. I've been on a real creator kick lately. You might be able to tell from some of the things in this video, but I was watching this the other night and I had it cranked pretty loud, where the wife stomps on the floor, that type of loud. And turn that shit down type thing. But I had this on. I don't have some of the other creator live stuff from the 2000s, which would be Live Creation, which would be on this tour that I'm listening, Violent Revolution. And then there was Dying Alive, that would have been off of probably the Phantom Antichrist tour. But I will be sorted out soon with those. Do have some of those coming. But for now, this is the only live creator I have. This is London Apocalyption, and just a fantastic show. I probably have watched this DVD at least 3 times. The DVD portion of this is actually Live in Chile, and then Masters of Rock, and then they have a Violent Visions, which is a collection of the videos from the Gods of Violence tour. But there is kind of the set list for the DVD. Opens up like this. Nuclear Blast, doing a great job with these kind of packaging too. But the audio portion of the actual title, London Apocalyption, live at the Roundhouse. So those of you that live in that part of the world probably know exactly where that is. So this would be on the Gods of Violence tour. So I mean, just when I put on like Hail to the Hordes, and I just makes me want to go to shows, be in the front row, or well, maybe not at my age anymore, but definitely miss that energy, that atmosphere. Great track listing. We got quite a few tracks from, the past 5 or 6 or 5 albums, but it's kind of cool that they still do some of their old favorites, Flag of Hate, Pleasure to Kill, Phobia, that's from the Outcast album, which is actually a really big live hit, kind of like when Iron Maiden plays Fear the Dark. When they play Phobia, when Creator plays Phobia, the crowd is right into it. But I definitely highly recommend you check out some live Creator. And like I said, I do have Dying Alive on the way, and what else? Live Creation. Next up, this band, I would say, is a real mixture of, you're even going to hear some old AC/DC in this band, mixed with some probably Metal Heart, Balls to the Wall era, except matter of factly, the vocalist, if you know this band, Bullet, he sounds like a mixture of Udo Dirkschneider meets Brian Johnson to begin with. Definitely an acquired taste for vocal wise. Got that dirty, gritty vocals. But if you've not heard Sweden's Bullet, this is a great one to check out, even if you haven't heard any of their 6 or 7 studio albums. Where's the one from? This is their last studio album that came out. This is from 2018, called Dust to Gold. Highly recommend you checking this one out. This one is, and there's a mixture of speed metal in here. Not much for thrash. Definitely speed metal, but I hear that just traditional metal. Even a wee bit of Priest in here. And earlier AC/DC, probably pre-1980 or 79, probably pre-79, but if you have not checked out this one, great release, by the way, on SPV Steamhammer again. This is audio only. There's no DVD here. I'll give you a couple tracks to check out. My favorite track, probably period, from this band. I don't have all of their discography, but Dusk Till Dawn, what a great track that is. And then there's 3 tracks off of Dust to Gold. Where are they? Dust Till Gold, that track. Speed and Attack. Check that one out. That's kind of got that Accept meets speed metal type of feel. And Fuel the Fire, another great track. And Ain't Enough. Check that one out too. Bullet, definitely metal to me. They could be considered a little on the hard rock side, but overall, no. I would definitely put them in the metal category. What do we got? 4 more to go, so we better wrap this up. Well, now we don't have to wrap shit up, do we? Next up is a band that I really enjoy, a very consistent band. I've said it in the past. These aren't, their studio albums are just like this, just consistency. For me, not album of the year material, and that doesn't mean their material's bad by any means, but a great band that I would love to see live one day, just haven't had the opportunity, and that is Primal Fear. This is Angels of Mercy, live in Germany. This was recorded on the Rule Breaker tour, so this was when? We can have a look. Ralph Sheepers, Matt Sinner, you know this band. And like I said before, very consistent with their output. Lot of, not a lot, but there's definitely some little bit of cheese in the lyrics, things like that. The stuff that I love it. I could care less, care more, whatever. But there's a cool shot. Great crowd. These guys always put on a good show. I do have, I think, one other live album from Primal Fear, but this one is accompanied by a DVD, which, that's kind of the highlight for me on this set, but very cool artwork. This is actually released on Frontiers. Not easy to get anymore, but I lucked out and got this whole thing for $11 Canadian, so I couldn't pass it up. But like I said, the Rule Breaker tour, the only difference between the CD and the DVD is the DVD has your drum solo, a band introduction type, just a couple extra things, but got some really good scorchers on here. Angels in Black, even has Nuclear Fire on here. Metal is Forever, that's a staple in their live set. In Metal We Trust, so a lot of metal with Primal Fear, and that's kind of the category they're in. They're not, to me, they're not overly power metal. They're just in that traditional zone. I always lump them into the, the Accept, the UDO type of category. So if you are wanting to check out some live Primal Fear, this is a good one to check out for sure. Angels of Mercy, live in Germany. Next up, a little bit of thrash. This is a set that I wish I would have bought the version. There was I don't know what you call that, the tin can version or the tin version where you actually get the DVD. This one's only audio, but it's a good representation of this band at the time. Second album on their reunion tour, or their reunion, '08 Formation of Damnation, and then 2012 on the Dark Roots of Earth album. This is Testament, Dark Roots of Thrash. This is when Greg Christian was still in the band on bass. He left after this album, but we still had Gene Hoglan on drums, Eric, Alex, Chuck. Definitely a great show to listen to. Lots of the classics on here, and then we got several songs from, like I said, Formation of Damnation, and some great songs like Rise Up, Native Blood off of Dark Roots of Thrash. And then you got your classics on here, and I call them classics, whatever. Practice What You Preach, Trial by Fire, Over the Wall, Disciples of the Watch, watch. That's my Chuck Billy imitation for today, but you know what I mean if you're a Testament fan. But like I said, I wish I would have bought the one that actually came with the DVD. I would love to just watch that show. But regardless, great show to check out. You know, some of the thrash bands, in my opinion, some of the live stuff is not that well done, but in the case of what I'm showing you today, it's definitely well done. This one for sure. Probably, I would say Testament's probably due for something, you know, live here soon. But even any of their other stuff, you know, live at the Fillmore, or there's a couple more. Great job on those too. This one, and again, if you've watched my channel for any extended period of time, you know I'm a huge King Diamond fan, so I got to throw this one in for sure. This is Songs from the Dead live, and you know, if you missed part of the video or whatever, remember these are only from 2000 till today. We'll get to some of those older favorites later, but this is Songs from the Dead live. This one includes actually two separate shows of the same tour. There is one here from June 17th, live at Grass Pop, and then there's one live at the Fillmore in Philadelphia. Both of those are the DVD, and the CD audio is just from the Fillmore show. So this great set too, by the way. It actually came, it comes with this separate, the DVD is, no, actually that's the audio CD is in here. Each DVD is on the sides here. And we'll drop that out and show you. So what this consists of is all songs. They play Abigail, the whole album in its entirety, but they do start off with some favorites from them, Conspiracy, Fatal Portrait. There's also a couple tracks on here where they Melissa, so we got one track from Melissa from Merciful Fate's album Melissa, and then we have Come to the Sabbath, which is a track off of Don't Break the Oath from Merciful Fate, and then couple from probably each album. There's a couple from the Eye, the title, Eye of the Witch, Insanity. Those are both from the Eye album, but fantastic show from King Diamond. The stage show, the setup is just very elaborate, very cool. Still really in anticipation of that new King Diamond album, hopefully this year, called The Institute. And wrapping up is kind of, I would say, probably a band that deserves a little more recognition, or little, you know, people talking about more, and that's UK's Onslaught. Only 7 studio albums, but this is a live album that was actually sent to me by a good friend of mine, and really glad I got it. This is Onslaught live at the Slaughterhouse. This one was recorded in, I think, 2014 on the Killing Peace tour. This is before Cy Keeler, or is that his name, Cy? I'm pretty sure that's his last name. Cy Keeler left the band, and then David Garnett joined the band. But this is the tour off of their 6th album, called 666. No, sorry, this is not. I just told you what it was before. So this is off the Killing Peace tour. Really cool set list. They go all the way back into their early stuff. They even do one song from the In Search for Sanity album that Steve Grimmett sang on, which is the title track. So cool to hear Cy sing In Search for Sanity. Lots of other favorites of theirs. And where is that album? If you've never heard this album from 1986, so this will be their 2nd album. If you've never heard The Force from 1986, I highly recommend this album. If I would have known about this album back in 86, this would have always been in the conversation with albums like Peace Sells, Master of Puppets. It is that good, I am telling you. Start to finish, only 7 tracks. They're not shorter tracks either. For thrash, a thrash album. There's quite a few, 5 or 6 minute tracks on here too. But if you have not checked out Onslaught The Force, their second overall studio album, highly recommend it. But lots of other great tracks on here. Rest in Pieces, 666, that's a great track too. Fight with the Beast, Metal Forces, which is on this album. Great set. So this one does include the CD, the audio and the video. I'm pretty sure it does. Yes, it does. Right there. And most of I haven't had any trouble with one of those. I don't own one of those region-free DVD CD players. Haven't really had any trouble with that. These all play fine. But so yeah, I just thought I would cover off 10 of the newer live albums. Next episode, we will do a few more of my favorites from the 2000s and some of the bigger names, your Saxons, Priests, Maidens, all those bands. But some of these, let me know if these are bands that you're a fan of. Have you heard some of these live albums? Are there any live albums in here that I could add to my list? And I know there probably is, because I probably have another 10, maybe 8 to 10 that I could talk about too, that are from the 2000s till today. And I still might do that too. So hope you enjoyed that episode. Until next time, stay heavy.